Good
こんばん
evening.
は。なんかまたカクカクしてないね。
Is this your new computer, Hiromi, or your old one?
New. What is that?
Yes, that's right. Your older one actually works a little bit better.
なんだろうな。
Good evening. We hope you can see us and hear us. I'm looking rather grey today. I quickly got ready, but I didn't really think about what I was going to wear. I might take off this sweater a bit later. It's getting a bit warm. It's a very cold evening here in Tokyo. It's a very cold evening. That looks all right.
大丈夫そうかな？
We'll keep going. It's soldier on.
soldier on って何？
It's soldier on, you don't know?
No.
Soldier on means keep going despite the large challenges. Soldier on means
Didn't
keep
know.
going. You didn't know?
No.
Ooh. Well, you might enjoy this evening's program because we have a large number of rather interesting facts about the English language, and we're going to talk more about that soon. Again, good evening. Thank you for joining us this cold.
今日本当寒いね。
Yes.
寒いですね。まあ足とかすごく冷える。
Yes. Yes.
いや、
Super cold. Currently also Tokyo is in the grip of COVID panic, Hiromi.
COVID panic.
COVID panic. It's on. It's everywhere, and everyone's getting rather concerned about it.
そ
Well, not everyone, of course.
う、まあ、結構すごいね。
It's on our news again. It's in our news again.
なんかすごく感染のスピードが速いっていうことですごくねこう不安に思ってる方も多いんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、まあ正直私たちはそんなに持ってない。
Well, look, it's easy to be worried about anything and everything.
うんうんうん、
It's easy to get worried.
そうね。
I'd rather not worry
でやっぱりね、なん
because worrying is not going to change anything.
でやっぱりほらイギリスがね。
Well, that was an interesting development earlier today, wasn't it? Yesterday, late last night, perhaps.
昨日ねアナウンスがすぐ入ってきたんだけれど、
Yeah.
結局イギリスとスコットランド、アイルランド、南アフリカはもう全部いろんな
all restrictions out the window.
そうっていうのも聞いたのでね、もう強制していくっていうスタイルで。
That's very unexpected.
そうね、work from home もね、restriction 外れたからね。
Totally unexpected. So very interesting to see what is behind that kind of sudden turnabout.
Right.
Personally, it's a bit confusing for me because here in one hand, we're going through what seems to be furthering of restrictions or what is going on the horizon.
Right.
Yet on the other side of the world, who have taken similar measures are suddenly doing a complete turnaround. Good evening, Sachi Sensei. It's a rather just confusing.
Confusing というかまあいろいろこう情報を取ってる方はねもう気づいてたりするかもしれないけど、まあ今回そのいろんな国でもうどんどんこうレストリクションが外れてきてるのを聞くとね、早く日本もそうなったらいいなって思うんですけど、ただねまだヨーロッパの方とかイタリアとかまだ相当大変みたいで。
Well, yeah, Austria, Germany.
そうそうそう。
These places are being they're kind of tightening restrictions even.
そうそう。
So it's a real mixed kettle.
なんだろうね。オーストラリアどうなの今？
Well, I haven't heard any changes. It's still rather a restrictive society
うん
with
なんか
severe.
見たかな。でもやっぱりこう情報を取りに行かないとさ、なかなか、まあ、うちほらテレビがないからわかんないんだけど、こうテレビとかインターネットとかでもなかなか入ってこないのね。情報がその世界のね。だから
Yeah.
取りに行かないと入らないっていう、なんか、でも
Well-
それ思うとね、私思うのよ。やっぱり英語ができてよかったなって思
Of
う。
course. Yes, of
やっ
course.
ぱこれに対してその英語の情報に対しては英語わからないからっていうんじゃなくて、いや英語だけど取りに行く、英語わかる、少しでもわかるとかね、そういう
Right.
感じでいけたらやっぱ全然情報量が違うよね。
Right.
でそういう意味でやっぱり英語ってできた方がいいよなって改めて、
Right.
うん、
If you have just joined us, good evening. We can tell by watching our monitor that there is some visual
なんかカクカク
issues
してるけど
with
大
us.
丈夫かな。
Hopefully the audio is coming through.
うんうん
If you can hear us clearly, that would be
大丈夫かな。声は聞こえてるかな。
yes, you're rather soft today though. Are you okay?
いえ、
Okay, good.
そう。
I mean, I'm having difficulty hearing you.
それあなたの耳のせいじゃない？わかんないけど。
If you can hear me, great.
うん。
I might ask her to say it one more time, please, if I need it.
OK うん。
Yes, if you've just joined us, we've been rather surprised by the news coming out of England
うん
recently.
うん。
Um,
あと、スコットランド、
and Scotland and Ireland and South
South
Africa.
Africa.
These nations are doing a complete turnabout on previous
Restriction.
strategies towards the coronavirus.
うんうん。
So, great.
そう
I mean,
ね。
if you're in those countries, I
Mm.
guess. Oh, good evening. I can hear you fine, Minori
あ
Sensei.
りがとうございます。
How is Hiroshima this evening?
あれ、広島もマンボウなのかな。
I don't know.
なんか急に出たもんね。
Yeah, Tokyo is in store for another
そう。で今日、
state of emergency. They called it quasi state of emergency.
クワズ
Quasi means kind of.
で
Kind of state of emergency.
今日ね、実はちょっと小学校に行ってたんですよ。
はいはい。
学校運営委員の会議があってね。
はいはい。
で、まあ、いろんな、
広島は
すごく流行ってます。そうなんだ。ね
Yes, it seems to be going through the roof here in Tokyo as well.
え。うんうん
I had some students today
うん
and I asked them about it. I said, how was school today? And
Mm.
one boy said, oh, didn't have school today. School is closed
Mm.
because of the
Mm.
virus.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, really? How many kids
うん
in your school have it? And he
Mm.
said, well, in my school, there are 4 kids who had it
うん
and 1 teacher.
うんうん
So the school decided to close.
うん
However,
Mm.
another student then said,
Mm.
well, my school has 13 kids with the virus
Mhm.
and 4 teachers with the virus,
うん
but the school is still open.
うん
So we all laughed at that, but it just goes to show how some schools and people, of
Mm.
course, but people, of course, but
Mm.
that even schools in the
Mhm.
same part of town
Mm.
will be taking different
そうだ
approaches.
ね。うんうん
What were you going to say?
Ah,
You
so,
were-
so, so.
Mm.
まあちょっと、小学校に行って、で、帰りにね、ほら、前住んでたエリアの小学校に、まあ、戻ってるわ
Ah,
けだから、
yes. 懐
まあ、
かしいね。
そうそう、懐かしいので、まあ、知り合いのね、友達の、お店に寄ったわけですよ、帰り。ちょっと、元気久しぶりみたいな感じで。
10日。
うん、そうそうそう
Okay.
そう。
うん。
まあ、月1行ってるからね。
うん。
で元気どうなんつって。
うんうんうんうん
でもそこは、まあ、立ち飲みの、日本酒バーなんで、で
大好き。
私全くお酒飲めないんですけど、
うん。
でもそこで寒かったし、ちょっと高いうちちょうだいって言って寄ってったの。まあ友達なんでね。で、それで、まあお酒を提供してるとこだから、ちょっとマンボウまたどうなんのって言ったら、あ、3週間ホリデーですって言ったんだよね。
うん。
もう3週間マックス休むって。めちゃくちゃ嬉しそうだった。 ある意味、なんかよかったっていうのと同時に、羨ましいっていう、なんか3週間も休めるの
So he's
羨ま
not
しい。
worried about the loss of his business because, for example, small schools.
うん、
The school I am working at is very concerned about any possibility of closing, which I think is understandable.
うん。小学校の話？
No, the Eikaiwas and things. Aren't they concerned about, because my school's very concerned.
いえ。なんかね、アプリフト生の先生とちょっとコンサルしてる中とかでは、やっぱり地域の小学校がクローズになったから、やっぱりお教室もクローズっていうところもあるし、基本的に小学校がオープンである以上は教室もオープンっていうところもあるし、でも一応念のためにちょっとクローズとかいう人もいるし、ズームに変えましたっていうのもなんかいろんなパターンがあるみたい。まあどういうふうに捉えるか次第だからね。まあでも、
So
どうなんだろうね。
So they were closing because they're forced to close by the government.
英会話スクールはフォーストじゃない。
そう
ないと思
う。Okay.
緊急事態宣言じゃないしね。
なるほど。OK。わかった。
今、なんだっけな。言われてるのは飲食店じゃない？厳しいのは。
Is that right?
あとお酒を出すところ。
Right.
じゃないかな。で、なんか美容院とかそういうところは全然影響ないですって言ってた。
Right. Yes.
まあね、どうなんだろう。
Oh, it's actually the worst time of year to have this kind of thing.
そうね。
We're really busy right now.
もう今めっちゃ忙しいね。
Right? Everybody, right? January, February, student evaluations, parent-teacher mendang, planning for next year, revising this year, writing reports. 1年間どうだったとか、じゃあ1月から3月までどういう目標。
そうね。
そういう。
いやでも、そうそう、次世代型英語教育セミナーを急遽ね、開催することになりました。ちょっとこの間 LINE の方に日程だけ先にご案内したんですけど。
Isn't the video great?
まだ今日 YouTube で公開したけど、まだ LINE の方で案内入れてないんですけど、すみません、今ね、いろんな準備をしてまして、申し込みは来週の月曜日から一気にしたいと思います。で、今回も、セミナーは4回やりますので、ご都合のいい時間をちょっと選んでね、来ていただければいいかなと思います。で、この次世代型英語教育セミナーの後半に、いよいよ7期
の説明会。
はい、7期の説明会も同時に開催します。で、ちょっとね、気になる方も最後まで残って聞いていただきたいなと思うんですけど、修了生もちょっと来てもらえると思うので、実際のその修了生の声とかもね、聞けると思います。なので、ぜひ講座に興味がある方は、ぜひ最後まで残って聞いていただきたいなというふうに思っています。で、今までも、毎期ごとね、次世代型英語教育セミナーやってきたんですけど、またちょっとね、アップデートした形で、お届けしたいなというふうに思っています。ね、最近ね、なんていうのかな、コロナのおかげじゃないけど、のがあってから、その教育についてもすごくね、考えることがあって、すごく考えることがあって、で、考えれば考えるほどね、私たちが目指している方向っていうのは、やっぱりいいなと改めてちょっと思ったわけですよ。狙ってるところがね。なので、またそこをしっかり、軸にしていきたいなと思いますし、こういう考えがあるんだっていうのをね、ぜひたくさんの先生方に知っていただきたいですし、このね、セミナーを受けたから、養成講座受講しなきゃいけないとか、そういう義務は全然ないんですよ。
No.
で、 もうセミナーを受けるだけでも、おそらくご自身の今のね、お教室の方針にプラスできるものいっぱいあると思うので、
Yes.
ぜひね、聞いていただきたいなと思います。
Yes. And even if you do stay for the setsumekai about nanaki, even so, you're not obliged to join or
義務はな
decide.
いです。
We'd love you to, obviously, because we like to work with teachers and we like to work with many teachers, and you'll find out why at the seminar. Well, I can tell you why. We want to change. We want to make big changes to English education in Japan, and we cannot do it by ourselves. We need a team. So that's why we are doing what we do. Hey,
しな先生。
Shino Sensei.
そうそうそう。
So you're very well. I'm kind of hoping a lot of people do stay for the Setsumekai, not necessarily to join, although we'd love to have you, but because I'm very proud of what it is we are doing, and I'd love to let you know
そうですね
more detail about the course. And I'm very proud of it because there is no other course like it.
そう思う。もう次8回目になるんだけどね。
Not only do I know that, or do I think that, but I know that because other teachers tell us the same thing. We know it and we get told. There is no other course like it. It's fantastic.
で、あとぜひね、こう一人で悩んでね、頑張ってる先生はもうぜひ来てほしいなと思うんですよ。で、うちのそのイングリッシュアップリフトのその講座がね、どうのこうのっていうのはもちろんそのクオリティはギャランティーしますけど、それよりも何よりもね、先生方の横のつながりが本当に素晴らしくて、
Fantastic, isn't it?
そう、本当になんかみんなでこういろいろ支え合いながらとかね、なんかこう自分を出せるような場っていうのができてきてるので、本当にプライスレスだなと思うね、この環境がね。なので、ぜひね、お一人で悩んでる先生はもうぜひ飛び込んできてほしいですし、まあ、いずれにしよう、その次世代型英語教育、私たちが考えているもの何っていうのをね、もうぜひ知ってほしい。ね、一部でも全部でもあれですけども、今の教室の中にこうプラスしたらものすごいいいチャンスだと思うんですよね。
Yeah.
なのでぜひお楽しみにしてください。2月にやりますので、もう募集は、来週の月曜日からスタートして、で、もうセミナーが始まる前日でね、もうクローズしてしまいます。で、一応その7期に関しては、セミナーを受けていただいた方は、特別割引が適用されますので、興味がある方はぜひこの説明会に来て検討していただきたいなというふうに思います。で、それ以降も一応一旦クローズします。募集はね、セミナーが終わってから次の、2、3日後までは開けとくんですけど、一旦そこでクローズします。で、なぜかという話なんですけど、7期自体は3月の中旬スタートなんですね。なので、ちょっと1ヶ月前に、切ってしまう理由っていうのがあって、課題があるんですよ。ね、課題をやっていただく時間があるので、どうしてもギリギリまでは募集しません。なので、ぜひお見逃しのないように、4日間4回ね、説明会あります。どれかにね、来ていただければいいなって、どうしてもこの4つダメな場合は、個別にご相談ください。ちょっとオポチュニティ作りたいなというふうに思っています。はい、すみません、ちょっと案内になっちゃいましたけど、で、今日のトピック。
Yes. By the way, being a very heavy coffee drinker than I am, I must say that your recent offering of tea instead of coffee is rather welcome. It's a rather welcoming what's the word I'm looking for? A welcome change. This tea is really nice. I know it's just Earl Grey tea, which is common everywhere. But if you haven't drunk it for a while,
美味しいよね。
it's good, isn't it?
なんかね、ずっとコーヒーを飲んでるんですけど、実はね、私、フレンチプレスでコーヒー飲んでるんですけど、娘がね、フレンチプレス壊しちゃったの。で、壊しちゃってから、変えてないんですよ、新しいフレンチプレスが。 で買いに行かなきゃなと思って見るとなんか欲しいフレンチプレスじゃなくてまあじゃあいいやと思って、まあ、ネットで買えばいいんだけどなんかなかなかやってなくってでそのうちになんかちょっと紅茶でも飲もうかなと思って紅茶を飲み始めたらマシューがめちゃくちゃ紅茶にはまったって話ね、はい。
Shall we start?
Yes, please.
I'm getting my information today from a very interesting website, and I will let you know the site afterwards. I will give full credit to this site. My thanks in advance for providing this information. It's very interesting. Let's start.
老眼だね。
English is a universal language, a must in today's world. Most of us believe that we have good knowledge about the language, but you'll be surprised to discover random, surprising facts that are not very well known.
どんなことでしょ
Without a doubt, language is the most profound, which means deep, profound creation by humans. It is the very core of our existence and the method of communication without which the world wouldn't be what it is. Language. Language is so extensive that we can never fully cover it. There's always something new to learn and add to our mental dictionaries and vocabulary. So here are a few new things to learn about English. About English.
Oh, about English.
Hey, I'm going to write a word on the whiteboard, and can you tell me what is interesting about this word? Hey. Hey, Hiromi, can you read that? What does it say?
Go.
Go. What is interesting about this?
What is interesting?
So some interesting thing about this. Okay, I'll tell you. Go is the shortest sentence in English.
なるほどね。これがショーテストなの。
Yeah.
確かにね。two letters なんだ。
Two letters only. This sentence has two letters.
確か
どうでもいい。
に。いや、でもなんか。
でもね、言われたら
確かにそうだ
ね、面白いでしょうね。Go.
簡単だね。簡単だねっていうか、なんだろう、これ。
Next one. Okay, I'm going to. Can you write this down? I'll spell it for you. P-N-E. It's you better start. You better write smaller. Right up here. If you have a pen, by all means, write this down too. I'll spell it for you. P-N-E-U. M-O-N-O. U-L-T-R-A. M-I-C-R-O.
M-I-C-R-O?
Yep. S.
まだ
You were about halfway there.
Wait a minute. はい。
S-C-O-P-I-C-S. I-L-I-C-O-V-O-L-C-A-N-O.
N-O?
Yep.
まだ
K-O.
ちょっと待って、やばい。K-O?
N-I-O-S-I-S. Hey, show that word.
ちょっとなんかこんなになっちゃった。
This is the longest word in
どのぐらい長いかわかんないけど、
45 letters.
こっちから書けばよかった。
It's 45 letters. And I'm going to suggest, can you show everybody again?
合ってる
Yeah, just show. I think it says Pneumono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. One more time. Pneumono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
これ何？
It's the longest word in
40
English.
45 letters.
45 letters. It's the longest word in English with no meaning whatsoever.
What?
No.
ごめん
Sorry, I just made that up.
びっくりした。なわけない。これ辞書に載ってんのかな？どういうふうに書い
I
てある
don't
んだろう？
know. We may want to Google that a bit later.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Mm.
So you didn't say any meaning of it.
No, I don't know the meaning. But it's the longest word in English.
45 letters.
Shall we try pronounce that again? Want to show them again? Pneumono ultra new PNEU, by the way, is pronounced new. So the P is silent. Pneumono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
なんかさ、呪文みたい。ハリーポッターのね。なんか
Pneumono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
ほら、そんな感じしない？
Yeah.
何これ？
That's fun, isn't it?
わお。ちょっ
Hey,
と調べてみよう。
はい。
はい。Any
Next one.
erasers? This one. Okay.
hey.
45か。でもそうやって見ると日本語とかも探してみると面白いかもね。はい。
そうよね。Hey,
初めて知った。いや、気になる。
let's go for a more simple word.
調べたい。
This word.
set.
Can you put this word set into a sentence?
I set the table.
Okay, we have to set the table.
うん。
Anything else?
なんだろう。なんかダイニング系で set forks or knives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a set of
あとそうね、set of color pencils.
color pencils.
うん。
What's interesting about this word set?
Music set.
Yeah. There you go.
すごい意味があるね。
All ping pong, ping pong, ping
そう、なるほ
pong.
ど。
The word with the maximum number of definitions in English is set.
なるほどね。
This has the greatest number of
うんうん
meanings.
うん。
How
確
many?
かに言われてみたら日本語でも結構あるもんね。
How many definitions of set?
いくつあると思います先生方。
じゃあね、about how many? Give us a number.
4? もっとか。どうだろう先生たちどうだろう今ピンって言って。
4.
なんもう絶対違うね。
Congratulations.
おお、よかった。あ、4。4です。ちょっと待って。
There are 464
そんなに
different definitions for the word set.
へえ。なんかさ、こう、センテンス出し
Shino Sensei, 18.
そうなん
That's right.
そうなんか
Thank you for contributing. 18.
なんかさ、こう、いきなりそう3歩出してって言うと意外と出ないけど、これだけあるってことね。
Yeah.
もっとあるだろうね。今全然ふと思い出す。
In tennis, don't they have like a set?
ああ、そうだね。
What else? What else can you think of? Set. A
あとは
set piece. It's set, like it's fixed.
うん。あとほら、ムービーセットとか。
Yeah, movie set.
うん。
Wow. Yes,
す
yes.
ごいね
A。movie set.
あと、なんかほら、ギフトセットじゃなくて、こうなんか、いろんな
Yeah.
ピースが集まってるような
Yeah, yeah,
や
yeah,
つの
yeah.
セットだね。
Would you like to buy it individually or in a set?
セットそうそう
Yeah,
そう。
yeah, 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 yeah.
あと動詞は さっきみたいにセ
Set
ッテ
the
ィングするの。
table. Set it here means like I'm gonna put it here.
Put it here、
Just set it over here, please.
あと、動詞あるかも。
Set or fix kind of mean fix. Set my hair. I'll set your hair.
ああ、髪の毛をセットするね。
そうだよ。
確かに確かに。言われると出てくるけど、460
I don't think I can
出
think
ない
of
ね。
464, but there you go. Very interesting word.
面白い。
Set. Should I clean this with a tissue or a
あ
tea
ごめんなさ
bag?
いティーバッグ何言ってんの？すごいね。辞書にどこまで出てるんだろ
We were I was checking the
う。
kids' writing today
うん。
because as part of Hyoka,
Right, right.
I need to check that the kids can write
うん
the alphabet
うんうん
komoji omoji
うん
and can they write on 4
うん
lines?
うん
Do they know? They may know that J looks like this, but
Right,
do
right.
they know that it goes down?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So initially I was going to or my team teaching
Mm-hmm.
partner and I, we were just going to just call out letters randomly or have kids read letters randomly and they write it.
うん
But I thought, I'm going to moshiko nai
うん
and kakuri mo nai.
うん
So I gave them all 4-line paper and said, please write her name,
うん
please write his name,
Mm.
please write his name.
Mm.
And so the kids were writing names.
うんうん
And one of the kids' names was, doesn't really matter. Give me a kid's name.
Including J? 純子
One of the kids' name was Junko.
うん
And so they all started writing Junko.
うん
And I said, remember, P should be big. The kids were like,
P?
P?
なるよね。純子だっつってんのに。
そうそうそう
うんやりそうやりそうマッシュだね。
P should be big. I mean, I just wanted to see if they were listening.
うんなるほど、なるほど。
I think I've told you before. The kids go to the toilet.
うん、
They say, can I go
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
toilet? And I'm like, yeah, all right, be careful. And they're like, be careful. I'm like, yeah, the crocodile is hungry. Next time.
わけわかんない。はいはいって感じ。
Hey,
Next one.
oh,
面白いな、セット。
here's an interesting word.
Okay.
It's not used very often. It's a rather formal word. Do you know this word?
No.
Therein.
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 It kind of means by so or so by.
Oh, no. Therein.
For example, and it's not a perfect example, but to say something like, oh, that's thereby. It's similar to using like thereby. So, for example, the team pulled out of the competition, thereby giving up any chance of winning the championship. Kind of that kind of, but it's in a similar. I can't think of an exact example right now. Therein.
Therein. 初めて聞いたかも。
Honto. I've used it sometimes, or especially when I'm writing.
Oh, right.
It's a formal word that you'll see occasionally in writing.
Really?
But I can't think of an
I'm not
example right
familiar
now.
with this word.
But there's something very interesting about this word. What do you think is interesting about this word?
何が interesting って説明しにくいね。なんか2つの言葉が入ってるってこと
Or you're very close. Oh, what does it say?
契約書で見る印象。ああ、コントラクト。
Yeah. Inori sensei. Sasuga. That's right. Oh, what did you just say?
なんか言葉が 2つ以上入ってる。
Or, congratulations, Hiromi.
そういうことか。
This is a 7-letter word
うん。
in English that consists of 10 words without rearranging any letters.
なるほどね。なるほどね。
Okay, the words are the,
だよね、まずね。
anything else?
he とか
He, yes,
her,
yes,
there,
yes,
rain,
yes,
in,
yes.
今いくつだ？あと in、あれ in だけか。
Yeah, you said that one. Okay, but there's also here.
あ、確かに here もね。
Yep, and also herein.
hearing。あ、なるほどね。あ、here あったあった。
So this is the this contains the most words.
なんかこれもうちょっとさ、子供たちができそうな面白いことだったらいいね。なるほどね。
Rather interesting, isn't it? Should we move on?
Yes, yes.
Hey.
Very ね。見ないな。見たことない。
Here's an interesting word
うん。
that I bet you don't know what it means. I've never heard of this English word, but I've learned about it today. A pangram. Have you ever heard of this word?
No, have you? Pangram.
A pangram. Do you know what a pangram is?
No.
A pangram is a sentence.
Sentence?
A pangram, not yet. A pangram, this
yeah.
is the definition
Right, right.
of pangram. A pangram is a sentence that contains every letter in the language. So, the most well-known example of this is a quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. If you were to write that down, the quick
そこ書い
brown,
て。
the
あ、全部のレターが入ってるってこと
the quick brown
Every letter is
fox.
different.
Yeah, every letter is contained.
Contain.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
それで全部入る。それで
Yes. This sentence contains every letter in the English language.
つまり26 letters?
Yeah,
へー
but not one time, obviously. Right? Oh, it's two
Oh,
times.
right.
But it contains every letter. So A, B, C, D, E, F,
G,
G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O,
うん
P,
うん
Q,
R,
R,
S,
S,
T,
T, U,
V,
V, W,
W,
X, Y, Z.
なるほど。
Okay, and that is in fact a pangram.
なんかさ、パングラム、なんかクイズ番組とかで出そうなの。
What's a pangram?
うん
Yeah, university challenge. Beep. Yes, Oxford, right? Because they're all in university teams. A pangram is a sentence containing
うん
all of the letters of a single language. And that's correct.
ピンポン
10 points.
みたいなね。
And then
Pangram.
they high five their team.
あ、わかったわかった。へえ、面白いね。
面白い。
あ、
Oh, yes,
すいま
this
せん
is.
すいませんうんへえ。
But I cannot think of any other pangrams. But of course you could
Okay.
make them.
きっとあるよね。
This one's the most famous.
面白いね。調べたらもっと出そうだね。
Maybe.
これでも頭使うね。作れって言われたら。
めんどくさい。
まずあれだね、アルファベットのカードをバーって用意して、こうやって考えると難しいけどさ、アルファベットのカード26日、まあ2セットぐらい用意して。
That's right. And then make things up. Yeah, 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 yeah.
いくつぐらいできるかなって。
That's right.
プラスセンテンスしなきゃいけないね。
Right. Mind you, it's very hard to make one sentence.
そうだと思うよ。だって結構、でも面白いね。
Yeah. You would need, like they're doing,
うん
they've got an article,
うん
they've got two
うん
adjectives,
うん
they've got a
う
noun,
ん。And
a
verb?
verb, and then a preposition, and then an objective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
目的。
へえ。Pangram.
Do you have pangrams in Japanese?
いや、知らない。
なんかない全部の
いや
あいうえおかきくけこさしなんか全部使お
うわ、だって結構な文字でしょ。あ、でも、
う。だって50 how many 56?
うん、結構やってみたら面白いかもしれないね。
そう面白いかな。
いや、でも、日本語は難しいんじゃないかな。まあいいや、後で調べよう。面白い。これじゃあ、Let's make a pangram って感じ？
Yes. Sounds like you're gonna cook something.
でもこれさ、中高生ぐらい楽しいんじゃない？
そうかな。
これでも結構。
Here's an interesting word.
うん。面白いね。
Hey. This word.
あるみたい見つけましたって。
おー。
しのぶ先生早い。吉田先生。面白いね。
I'm sure you're familiar with this word.
これね。bookkeeper.
A bookkeeper. What's a bookkeeper, Hiromi?
Accountant みたいな。
Yes, that's right. Keeps the books
Yeah, keeps
of a business, a
Mm.
bookkeeper. As opposed to a bookmaker.
うん。
If my memory serves me correctly, a bookmaker is somebody who takes bets at the horse races.
Ah, right. So that
In Australian English, you call them a bookie.
Bookie.
The bookie. The
Yeah.
bookie was the bookie is the guy with
歌舞伎みたいなね。Bookie.
that you place your bets with
うんうん
and pay him the money and then you get it back, the bookie. What's interesting about this word bookkeeper?
ブックをキープする人って意味が違う？
No.
なんだろう。あ、わかった。
はい。
ここ、ほら、2つずつ。
ピンポンピンポン。
なんかじっと見てると不思議なスペルだね、これ。
そう。
なんか目おかしくなりません？
It's the only word with 3
うん。
consecutive
Mm.
double letters.
OKE。
That's right. Double O, double K, and double E.
なんかずっと見てると気持ち悪いね。なんかわかります？なんか不思議な感じ。
Of course, bookkeeper is one, and the other one is bookkeeping.
うん。
Bookkeeping. ING at the end.
面白い。
Hey?
なんかよくさ、こう漢字とかひらがなとかでもさ、いつも書いてるのにさ、たまたまこうちょっと書いてじっと見たらさ、なんじゃこの形みたいな。あるよね。
Aru. And I had a friend.
なんか、何これって、なんか当たり前に書いてるのにさ、まじまじと見るとなんか変なのみたいな。
I said to him, because this is when I was in the early days,
Mm.
when I just arrived, and I was studying.
うん、
And of course, I studied kanji
うん、
because I liked it.
うん、
And I said to my friend at the time, I said, do you like kanji?
うん。
And he says, I like some kanji, but there's also kanji I really don't like. I'm like, what kanji don't you like? And then he wrote some kanji, he goes, I really don't like this one.
うん
And it wasn't the meaning, it was
Mm.
the shape of it,
あ
the look of it.
見た感じがや。
それがないなんかこんな感じ、なんか looks は好きじゃない。There is a kanji, and I forget it. なんか
あれ、凹凸ね。
Right.
そうそうそうそうそう。
That was the one he really didn't like.
なんかテトリスみたいね。
Yes. Yes.
うん
He said, he wrote that one.
Doesn't look like.
He said, I don't like this one.
うん
わかるその気持ち。
まあね、なんかああいうのってこう書き順わかんなくなってやんない。
そう。 それもそう。But he just said he didn't like the look. But he did like, obviously, some other.
なんか漢字らしくないからじゃない？
Yeah. Some kanji looks really good when it's done in calligraphy as an art piece. I think I was telling you the other day, I had a friend who lived in Ehime. And I'll never forget his name. His name's, he's an artist. He's a very famous artist in Kyushu. And he does art, but he also makes statues. And most of the statues in public places are his, if you look carefully. And he's a very interesting guy. And I don't remember his first name, but his last name's Kondo. So if you know of an artist from Ehime called Kondo-san, Kondo Sensei. And he, in his house, as very beautiful house, but he had an enormous calligraphy. What do you call that? Art. And the kanji was Michi. And it was like, you know what Michi is like, and then down the bottom. Yeah. So, it was fantastic. So some kanji really lends itself to pretty cool art pieces. I did here at home some calligraphy the other day with you guys, with the family, some shuji.
そうそう、娘のね、宿題で習字があったから、コマシュもやるべきだねっつってやったのね。
正月。
そう。で、なんかもう
The kanji is easy, obviously.
お正月って書くだけなんだけど。
もう
お正月。
もう書けなくてさ、バランスは全然ダメだったね。
王の点の位置違うとか言ってね、私にね、言われてね。筆立てとか言って言われて、ね。そう。
And やっぱり集中なくなるとダメ。So it was really tough.
適当にやろうと思うとダメだよね。
ダメ。And I finished and I finally got one looked not too bad or shoguts, and I was kind of happy with that. And then Hiromi and the kids said to me, yeah, well, now you've got to write
your name.
I'm like, eh? And now I can't write my name.
そう、マシューはね、実はね、いつも注意することがあって、
カタカナ。
しとね、つがすごく下手くそなんで、まがね、ちょっと。
ゆみたい。
いや、あの上の方。わかります？
はい。
なんか
長すぎて
角度がこう鋭角すぎるっていうの。そう。もうすごい気持ち悪い。
まもダメ。
そう、まもダメだし、
しもダメ
だし。
で、ゆも。
ゆは大丈夫。
あ、そう。
だけど大体まがもうギリギリなんとか読めるけど、しがいつもね、つに見えるのね。
だ
からマッツーさんってすごい名前変わっちゃう。
Yeah.
マッツーさんって言われる。
I've been called that in like at the pharmacy because you have to like write who you are. Yeah, or at the doctor's surgery when you fill in the form for the first time. And I'm like, no, it's all right, give me the Japanese form. And I write it in Japanese, my address, and I can write my address. And so I write my name and they go, D. Wildo Matsu-san. I'm like, oh, that's my shit. My shit has become Tsu again. So I didn't really want to write my name on this thing. So I said to the kids, Papa ga ii, Papa. Papa, because it's easy. They're like, Dame.
マッシュって書きなさい。そう、まあちょっと話変わるけど、マッシュの名前は Matthew D. Wild なんですよ。でね、そう、Matthew D. Wild。で、その D が DE なんだけど、それをでって読む人がいるのね。ね、よくあるのが、でさんって言われるんだよ。でさん。でも全然気づかなくて。
でさん、いらっしゃいますか？でさん、I'm like, でさん。Is it you? Come on, hurry up. You're next. Right? It's not.
ワイル。
I'm like, that's me.
そうってなって。
そうなんです。
よくあるよね。で呼ばれるっていう。
Yeah. And the other things too is my bank accounts, my phone accounts, my electricity accounts,
全部違う。
all different names. The names are all different
うん、
because system 上によって
そ
space はダ
う。うん
メ、
うん
or if it's in English,
うん
no
う
problems.
ん
But
そう、生命とか命、生とか、いろんな書き方があったり、あとこう文字が入りきれないから、ディワイルドの D は小文字なんですよね。
right.
そう。で、小文字から書くのってちょっと違和感じゃない？日本語だとこう生命だから、生に一番最初がちっちゃい D っていうのはちょっと気持ちが悪いから全部大文字で書くんだけど、そうするとなんか結局 D ワイルドでワンワードみたいになっちゃったりとかね。
Right. Or they say, please fill this in the same way as your passport. Well, my passport's got a middle name in it. Matthew Damon
うん
D. Wild. Damon is my middle name.
うん
So if you write all of that in katakana, it gets quite long and then you run out of spaces.
そう入らないでね。
入らないのよ。
そう。D ワイルドでも
そう。And so then you go to the counter.
そう、また大変なことになるんだよね。
Yeah. And so eventually you can't write it the same as your passport.
でもすっごい。
めんどくさいね。And so so when you make an inquiry, you have to call the electricity company for something or the phone company for something, and they go, what's your name? And you end up having to say, look, I don't know. Because you give them your name and they go, I'm really sorry, we can't find anybody by that name.
よくある、見つからないっていう
Yeah.
あと銀行名と証券名が違うからリンクできないとかね。
That's right. I wasn't. That's right.
まあいいや、ちょっと話ずれちゃった。まあ、
はい、
それ長くなるね。
名前難しいね。ああ、めんどくさいな。
私も
D ワイルド。
でさんだもんね。
でさ。はい、next one. Ooh. Oh, that's an interesting, interesting word.
Okay.
Another interesting word coming up. This one you know.
忍先
It's
生のあ
not
れ
a
忍先生のあるみたいに見つけたがまた気になるけど。
Hey,
Almost.
yes, what's interesting about this word almost?
どうです？
はい、どうでもいいですけれども、it's the longest word with all the letters in alphabetical order. どうでもいいですよ。はい、next.
なるほどね。他にはないのかな？どうなんだろう。どうでもいいけど、なるほどって感じだね。
This one's not so interesting. It's fairly obvious.
うんうん
This word I, it's one of the oldest, one of the oldest and shortest, most commonly used words in Old English and New English.
うーん。
So they use this one in Old English as well.
はい。
Okay, the word I.
そうなんだ。
Okay. What's interesting, I'm sure you know.
うん。
What's that? Okay. This letter here. Tell me about this letter. What can you tell me about this letter E? What's interesting about this letter?
丸がある。
One more time.
ワンストローク。
Yes, but so is O.
あ、そうね。
Easy, easy.
わかります？
Yeah. This is the most common letter in English. It appears more than any other letter.
あ、そういうこと？
Yeah, and you didn't know that?
確かに。言われてみたらそうかもね。
I saw. I thought everybody knew that. E is the most common.
うーん。確かにね。
Right. It's if you count all the letters in any text,
うん。
a lot of them will be E,
うん。
more than any other.
でもそう思うとさ、なんでこの E なんだろうって思っちゃうね。意味があるのか
No,
な。
I'm
なん
sure
か
it was.
暗号みたいな。
I'm sure it was just a coincidence, but I'm sure E itself is very happy to be used so often.
確かに言われてみたらそうね。
Oh,
暗号を解くときは、再品質の字をとりあえずと仮定するってやつですね。そうそうそうそうそうそう。なるほどね。
okay. Now, how often is it used?
いや、それはどうだろう。
So,
想像つかないね。
in other words, if this is the number 1,
うん。
one every how many words? One in every how many letters? So, for example, every second letter, no,
うん。
no, obviously.
うん。
So, what's this number here? One in every how many letters?
4か 5?
Nice try, not that often. It's
Some?
one every 8 letters.
8? うん。
One in every 8 letters. Oh, Shinobu Sensei 4. Nice
うん
try.
うんうん。
One in every 8 letters will be an E. E. Oh,
そうね。じゃあ、E をカウントすると楽しいね。
here's a word.
How many E's は楽しいかもね。いっぱいあるから。
Again, it's not a new word. Everyone knows this word. What does it say?
Enough.
Enough.
うん。
Okay. Now let's look at this part.
うん。
The O-U-G-H part.
うん。
O-U-G-H.
うん。
How many different ways are there to pronounce O-U-G-H? Because, for example, what's this word?
おーってね。
Bought.
うん。
So that's a name. That's also O-U-G-H, but it's a different pronunciation.
ああ。
Yes, I bought
Enough.
I bought enough apples.
そう。ボー。
This is
Af.
or and of.
どう
How many different pronunciations are there? In fact, there are. Through, that's
う
right.
んうん。
That's
Through.
right. There are
Through.
9 different pronunciations of O, U, G, and H.
へえ。
There are 9 different, and I'm going to read a sentence to you
うん。
that contains all 9 pronunciations of this word.
オッケ
Listen carefully.
ー。うん。
A rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into a slough, he coughed and hiccuped.
なんか、まあね。
A rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into a slough, he coughed and hiccuped. どうでもいいですね。はい。
でもそう思うとさ、なんかスペルを覚えるときとかってあんまりこう考えすぎないでやらないと分かんなくなっちゃうね。
ね。The O-U-G-H. やっぱり。
こういう GH って。
Well, that comes from certainly one of the Germanic
Right.
languages, and it probably had a
でも
different
そういうふ
pronunciation.
うに見たことがないから、愛って言われると。なるほど
Incidentally, I
うん
didn't know this, but you know the silent K in like
Right.
no,
No,
and in
no.
knife.
うんうんうん。
Well, apparently in Old English that was pronounced
そう、みたいだね。
そうそう
クナウとかね。
and knife,
うん
and then they just got lazy and threw it away,
うん
but they kept the spelling. Hey, here's a word that you will know, Hiromi, but it's not used very often. This comes from your old editing days. Right. Uncopyrightable. It means you cannot copyright this word.
うん。
You cannot copyright this means it's uncopyrightable.
uncopyrightable.
Right.
うん。
What's interesting about this word? Uncopyrightable. It's a very long word. There's a big hint.
でもここにもこう単語がいっぱい入ってる。
Nice, 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 nice. This is, in fact, the longest word that you can write without doubling any letters, without repeating any letters.
なるほど。でも本当だ。
No letters are doubled, no letters are repeated. Every letter is different. Every letter is different.
もうさ、このトリビアを作る先生がすごいよね。
Unanoniable.
あんなのに言えば。なるほど。確かに。
ね。
でも確かに本当だね。
Right? Every letter is new.
ん。
Hey? Oh.
何何
Write down these words.
うん。
Month.
Hmm?
Month. December is a called month.
うん。months.
Month. Next one, orange. Next one, silver.
month, orange, silver,
And last one, purple.
purple. month, orange, silver, purple.
Month, orange, silver, and purple.
Hmm.
What's unique about these words? Something rather unique.
Ah.
What? Do you know?
months かな
Month, orange, silver, purple. It's very interesting that three of them are colors. But it's not the hint. There's no relation. I'll give you a hint. If you're a songwriter, it would be very difficult to use these songs in your lyrics.
ああ、そういうこと。んそう、lyrics、rhyme
Rhyme ga?
しやすい。しにくいんだ。
Shinkui nai.
なるほど。でも確かにmonth、
No rhyme, no words rhyme with month, orange, silver, or purple.
month, mouth,
Mouth and
No.
month don't sound the
そうだ
same.
ね。orange, range,
No, orange.
orange.
Nothing rhymes with
うん、
orange.
そうね。silver、そうなんだ。
I like my shirt, it's purple. I think people.
purple people.
Right? Doesn't rhyme.
おー purple people.
It doesn't rhyme.
So
Nothing
no.
rhymes with these words.
なるほど
Oh. The next question relates to how quick the English language is growing. Hey. The English language grows, it gets bigger, it gets bigger. And words are added.
うん。
One new word is added. How often? How often? How often is one new word added to the English language?
How often?
How often is a new word added to the language? The language is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's a new word, it's come into the language.
How often って答えにくいね。
Maybe like once a week or once a day, perhaps. Or how often is a new word put into the language?
うん。
Want to have a guess?
No.
Once every 2 hours.
What?
Once every 2 hours, there's a new word added to the language. And every year, there are 4,000 new words.
Really?
There are 4,000 new words. I think that's particularly true in today. I don't think in the old days.
まあ今、新しい言葉多いもんね。
そう。
インターネットとか使ってるとね。
Yeah.
そんなに
In fact, I think our language has really changed since we were kids.
確かに。
Can you think,
Message me とか。
Message me, line me, Google me, Google it. How many megabytes is that file? Right? Sorry, I don't have enough memory. Well, actually, my dad used to say that all the
普通に
time.
言うとさ、こっちのメモリーなんじゃないと思っちゃうね。なるほどね。
How much memory do you have?
Excuse me って言いたくな
Could I borrow your charger?
いや What? だよね。
Yeah, what do you need? I need it for an iPhone.
もう全然だよ
わ
ね。
かんないよね。If you're a time traveler,
What are you talking about?
what are you talking about?
すごいね。
そう。
確かに。
ね。
へえ。
Yes, and yeah, our language is so full of our technology, isn't it?
すごい。でも確かに。
よくあんまり考えてないけれども、when you think about it,
でもそうだよね。
try to listen.
絵文字もそうだもんね。
I gave it a like.
そう。そう、I gave a like.
I gave it a like. Yeah.
どういう意味って思うよね。今だったらこういう。
Do you know how many likes I got? You know?
What? だよね。
That doesn't make any grammatical sense. とかさ。
そうだよね。確かにね。昔だったら全く通じないもんね。
Yeah. So maybe the next time you're speaking with somebody, just be aware of what you're saying and count how many words you're using which would not have been understood if they were said like 20 or 25 years ago, or perhaps when you were a child.
Right.
Completely different. The language we are using now is completely different. Very interesting.
そうだよね。
Oh, that's interesting.
apps とか知らないもんね。
Apps.
何 apps だよね。
Apps.
今言うけどさ。
Oh, I just downloaded this. I just downloaded this amazing new app.
本当だよね。
I muted my friend.
そう。
I muted my friend.
はって思うよね。いや、言葉すごいね。確かに。当たり前だけど、昔だったら全くわかんないね。
Yeah. Well, I just deleted that comment. How can you delete a comment?
どうやってやるのだよ、昔だったらね。What だよね。
Yeah. Don't forget to CC me. とかさ。CC you?
BCC とかね。
BCC. Well, that's a long time ago, BCC. 4,000 years BCC. That's a beauty. I muted my friend.
確か
It'd be like, oh, is she okay?
に。
みたいな。Right. What's interesting about this
マジ
letter?
ックだね。
I like this letter. It's easy to draw. The kids like this letter too. Yes.
こうじゃない
え
両方読める。
あ、そうか、そういうこと。
違う。
びっくりした。I thought you were complaining about the way I was.
No.
writing.
そういうわけじゃない。
No. S contains no words begin. Sorry, more English words begin with S than any other letter. So it's the longest section in the dictionary.
ああ、そうなんだ。
More words begin with S.
へー
Maybe English speakers like to start with a S sound in their
うん
sentence.
そうなんだ。面白いね。
そうです。Oh, that's Japanese. そうか。
S が一番多いんだ。
S が多い。
へえ。
Hey, I'll give you, the S challenge. How many words can you think with S? Say, I'm going to count to 5 seconds, okay? Have you got stopwatch?
ストップウォッチじゃない？
Let's try the S. The S challenge. Give me 10 seconds. And I'm going to say let's all try this. And just say an S word and then make a dot on your paper, and then we'll count the dots later.
じゃあ、10。
10
はい、
seconds.
ready, start.
Snake, salad, sausage, sizzle, sizzler, Spain, stomach, short, ship.
はい。
I forgot the dot. I forgot to make my dots. I'm making them in the air. What am I going to say? Well, anyway, that's about, I reckon that was 1 a second. Maybe 10?
10なかったと思う。7かな、8くらいだった。
Well, yeah. Hey, how many did you get at home?
確かに。先生やったかな、いくつ書いたかな。
Hey,
そうなんだ。じゃあ辞書をこうやって見ると、こう、S のところが一番こう黒いマークがついてるってことね。
yeah.
うーん。
Here is a word you have never heard of. Which is interesting because it rhymes with the word little. A tittle.
かわいいけど、なんか T がいっぱい。
A tittle. It rhymes with little. A little tittle. In fact, tittles are little. What is a tittle, Hiromi?
No idea. Tittle. Tittle.
There is a definition of the word tittle. Would you like to know what it is? In fact, there is a tittle in this word.
どうだろ
I can see it. Can you see the tittle? It's right there, inside this word. Here it is. That's a tittle.
う。そうなんだ。
That,
それ Tittle っていうの？
it's a tittle. The dot over the I is called a tittle.
Really? Did you know that?
No, nobody knows that. Nobody knows
す
that.
ごいかわいい。
Tittle tattle. Nobody says it.
いや、そうな
That's
ん
a
だ。
tittle.
初めて知った。
The dot over the letter I is called a tittle. Now, I'm not sure whether the dot over the letter J is called a tittle or something else. Because there's also a dot over the letter J.
でもこれは-
Maybe that is also a tittle.
へえ、初めて知った。かわいいね。
It's cute, isn't it?
かわいい。
And tittles are
知っ
cute.
てました？私初めて聞いた。
A little die, a
You,
little I over the...
you forgot the tittle.
You forgot the tittle. You'd be like, what?
What? Tittle.
Tittle. I mean, why would you give the dot over an I a name? Who thought it? Maybe John Tittle. Maybe Mr. Tittle decided that this dot needed a word,
面白い。
and so that he decided to call it a tittle.
Tittle.
Yeah, but kawaii.
ねえ、かわいい。
kawaii. Really,
もうね、今日これ動画見た人はね、ティト言いたくなるよね。子供たちにね。関係ないけどっていうさ。
そう。これ名前あるんだよって。
あ、タイトルになっちゃった。タイトル。
Well, your phone has totally disregarded this word and thinks that you're misspelling it.
あ、そう
Tittle. Because you typed in tittle, but it gave you title.
そうそうそう。
It's
そうだね。
it's definitely thinking you're misspelling the word title.
そうか。
残念.
Hmm?
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure I agree with this one, but there you go. Write down these words. Actually,
Actually,
basically,
basically,
honestly,
honestly,
and like. So we use these quite often.
actually,
Actually, I used it today.
basically,
Or basically, blah, 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 blah.
honestly,
And honestly, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, like, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, blah, blah, blah. Okay? We use them in that kind of,
なんか
without thinking.
thinking そのこと 葉の間にちょっと入れる感じ、ね。
そうそう、間にちょっと入れる言葉。These words that serve that function
うんうん
have a special name.
うん。あ、そうなの
Yes, and they are called a crutch.
A crutch.
C-R-U-T-C-H. They're called a crutch.
へえ。
And a crutch is a word that we repeat too often, that thing.
Right.
And it adds no value or no meaning to a
意味ないもんね。
sentence. So,
なんだっけなんか最近若い子が言う言葉あるよね。literally。知ってる literally って言葉を
Literally？
そう、literally って言葉をすごく最近
流行ってるの？
流行ってる若いティーネイジャーの女の子が使う。
literally.
literally ってその愛の手っていうかさ、actually みたいな感じで literally って使うんだって。
literally.
うん。って聞いたことがある。聞いたことない？
No.
もうすごいもう
今流行ってる。
ティーネイジャーの子が。
Of course, like was huge. Like, you know,
Like.
like,
今 literally っていうの流行ってるんだよ。
literally.
うん。
Yeah.
そうそう。
But to me, a word like basically,
うん。
I think does add meaning.
うん。基本的にね。
Yeah.
うん
Tittle, it's cute. I'm going to use it. Yeah,
あ、
yeah,
ね、
yeah.
ドラマでよく聞きますよね。そうそうそうそうそう。
Literally.
literally。ね、聞きますよね。
It's like literally, like
そう
kind
そう
of
そう
thing.
そう。なんかこうギャルっぽい子が使うイメージがある。
So,
そう。
I use quite a lot of these. I use like.
あとなんだっけ
Basically, I use.
whatever とか。
Yeah. It was like, you know, like.
うん
And we used to always get in trouble.
うん。
You know, yeah,
い
yeah,
や
yeah.
いや、そうね。うん。知らないって言いたくなっちゃうけどね、言われても。
Yeah.
crutch
I
っていうのは
use you know a lot
うん
too.
うん。you know って言っちゃう。
I think they just add color to the language as opposed to, I think they also cover people's nervousness as well.
そうね。
That's like,
あと、kill
there you go,
science。
like. It's like something to say when you need
うん
you need a cushion to land on
Yeah,
in
yeah.
between thoughts,
Mm.
perhaps.
Honestly.
But we used to get in trouble. Minori says that, did you not get in trouble at school for using the word like too much? Of course, you didn't write it ever. Nobody writes the word like. But some teachers and some
でもよく
parents,
よくさ、先生が使っててさ、カウントしちゃうことなかった
yeah.
あ、like 使った、あ、like 使った、あ、
Yeah,
like
yeah,
使った
yeah,
み
yeah,
たい
yeah,
な。
yeah, yeah. They used to do things like
Yeah.
that.
うん。
And you'd be like, so what?
もう使っちゃった。
もう使っちゃった。
crutch っていうんだ。でこれ、a crutch っていうことは crutches っていうの
Yes.
うん。So you
Use too many crutches, which sounds like you've just broken both your legs. Because a crutch is
う
also
ん。
ありました。
うん。
Yeah. Because a crutch is also what
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
it's a walking
Yeah, yeah.
aid
そう
for when you have injured your legs.
サポートみたいな。 なるほどね。
This one I think is not new. Most people know this word here. What's interesting about this word?
alphabet.
Yeah. Well, it's not even really interesting, but it's made up of alpha and beta, which are the two first letters of the Greek
Ah.
alphabet.
なるほど。
Alpha, beta, delta.
Del-
Alpha, beta.
サイクロンじゃなくてなんだっけ C から始まるやつでしょ ?ABC。デルタの前よ。
Alpha, beta, corona,
いやいや、
delta.
いや、これ違うと思う。あれなんだっけサイクロン C。なんだっけ
I don't know.
やば。
Maybe there is no C. I've got a feeling that it's alpha, beta, delta,
いや、違うと思う。
then gamma. Alpha rays, beta rays, delta rays, gamma. Minori Sensei, what do you know about the Greek alphabet? This is in your field, isn't it?
あ、アルフ
Alpha,
ァベータ、
beta.
ガンマだよ。
ほら。
ガンマは C だよ。
あ、そうなんだ。
そ
Oh, okay. I thought gamma was like G.
う。No.
It's alpha, beta, gamma,
デルタ。
delta.
そうそうそうそう。
What's the next one?
それなんか
Omicron.
いや、音楽の最後の方だから。まだまだまだ。アルファ、ベータ、ガンマ、デルタ、エプシロン、
Epsilon. Okay.
ゼータ、イータ。ゼータ、イータ、シータ、イオタ、カッパ、ラムダ、ミュー。
No. 今、絶対 you're just making it
いや、
up.
ほんとほんとほんと。違う
Eta, zeta, beta.
違う。アルファ、ベータ、ガンマ、デルタ、エプシロン、ジータ、イータ、シータ、イオタ、
Iota,
カッパ
kappa,
ラム
lambda.
ダ、ミュー、ニュー、クシ、オミクロン。
Oh.
パイ、オ、シグマ、ダウ、ウプシロン、ファイ、カイ、プサイ、オメガ。オメガが最後ね。
なるほど。Hey.
でもさ、そう思うとさ、オミクロンまでにさ、ちょっと素晴らしい話になるけどさ、ほら、デルタは結構流行ったじゃん。でエプシロン、ジータ、イータ、シータ、イオタ、カッパ、ラムダまであったんだよね。でもラムダは聞いたことある。
Well, at least we know how many variants there are going to
で
be.
もさ、クシーなんて聞いたことなかったね。
No.
クシー株とかなかったね。
So there's two down. Delta and Omicron are finished. So there's only another, what, 24
ミュ
to
ーもあ
go.
ったよね。
Not variant.
うん、ミュー。
The mu variant of the
ラダもあった。
coronavirus. あった?
ラムダもあった。うん、
あ、本当に? I missed all of that.
そう。あと、まあいいや。
全然 not in my field. ごめんなさい。I know.
そうそうそう。
So, yeah, there's some interesting...
面白かったね、今日。
well, we needed something light-hearted.
そうね。
So much going on right now.
Right.
And
ちょっとね、言葉遊び。
yeah.
そうそうそう。
So what was the most interesting to you? Now, shall we
私
just
今日
quickly
の
take a quick review?
ティトルが一番気に入ったな。
Or title, ne?
うん。あとなんかよくわかんない長いやつ。
Okay. The shortest complete sentence in the English language is
う
go.
ん。
At 45 letters, the longest word in English is pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
もう絶対、
I'm very proud of myself that I can say it.
でも絶対なんかマジックスペルだよね、それ。
The word with the greatest, biggest number of definitions in English is set. It has an astounding 464 definitions.
でもそうって言われたらさ、セット辞書で調べていくつ出てるか見たくなるね。
So it would
絶対
take
だ
up
ねみたい
it
な。
would take up pages
うん。
and pages in the dictionary, wouldn't it? The word therein is a 7-letter word that consists of 10 words without rearranging any of the letters.
Interesting.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog is a well-known example of a pangram. A pangram
Pangram,
is a sentence containing every letter in the language. A pangram.
なんでパングラムって名前したんだろうね。
Bookkeeper and bookkeeping
Mm.
are the only two words with 3 consecutive double letters. Double O, double K, and double E. I'm sure.
まあ新しく言葉作ってもいいよね。
The word almost, A-L-M-O-S-T, almost, is the longest word in English
うん
with all the words, all the letters
うん
in alphabetical order. 言われたらへーって感じだよね。
そうね。
One of the oldest, shortest, most commonly used words in Old and New English is I. Nice to know that we've kept that one from the old. E is the most commonly used letter in the English language. 1 in every 8 letters written in English is E. There are 9 different ways to pronounce O-U-G-H. 9 different ways to
Mm.
pronounce O-U-G-H. A rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful ploughman strode through the streets of Scarborough after falling into a slough. He coughed and hiccuped.
もうこれはあまり言いたくないね。学生にね。
No, don't tell your
だから
students
もう
that.
もう無理って思う、ね。
そう
うん。
The longest English word that can be spelled without repeating any letters is uncopyrightable.
うん
No words rhyme with month, orange, silver, or purple.
うん
This is interesting too.
うんうんうん。
There is one new word added to the English language every 2 hours.
信じられない。
Around 4,000 new words make it to the English dictionary every year.
うん
But I believe I read somewhere that yes, the English dictionary and the editors and compilers of English dictionaries, they also need to decide which words to omit.
うん。
We don't need these anymore.
うん。
So there are people who do that.
いつか電話って言葉がなくなるのかな。
Oh, not before.
でもさ、今考えるとこう、ズームするとかいうのもすごいよね。
Yeah, Zoom. Okay, do you want to Zoom? I'll Zoom you later, とかさ。
ズー
What
ム
time?
レーターだもんね。
Yeah. Yeah.
すごいね。
Yeah. すごいよね。
うん。
More English words begin with the letter S than any other
う
letter.
ん、
The dot over the letter I is called a tittle.
ちょっとタイトルみたいに見えちゃうね。
Well, no, it's because it's double T.
いや、いの。
The name for a word that we repeat too often is called a crutch. These include words like actually,
Mhm.
basically, honestly, and
う
like.
ん
They add no value or
Crutches.
meaning. The word alphabet comes from alpha, beta, the
うん
Greek alphabet.
うん
And that's it.
うん。
What should I
いや、
do?
面白かった。なるほどね。
So I'm sure Japanese has similar trivia kind of things. You'd have to obviously Google it. But by the way, I should give credit to this particular site.
うん。
Scoopwhoop.com また面白い名前ですね。SCOOPWHOOP.com
うんうん。
Scoopwhoop.com
スクープウェブ。うん。
they published 17
うん
trivia
うんう
interesting trivia about the English language,
ん。なるほど。
which formed the basis of our discussion this evening. Oh, this one is fairly famous, but might be of interest. Apron was originally napron, but people kept mishearing a napron as an apron until it officially became apron. Is that right?
え
An apron was actually a napron.
ネイプラン。
Well, maybe elephant was originally an elephant as well. Maybe that's true for all of the
N
N-words.
いえ、そうかもしれない、ね。
Maybe. So the English dictionary under the letter N
うん。
started losing words.
うん。かもしれないね。
Napron, nelephant, numbrella, napple. Can you think how upset and disappointed
うん。
napple was when losing N and it became apple? And everyone knows the word is apple, and it's the most common
うん。
word to begin with the letter A. And you can just imagine N just like, God, just to be me.
でもこうあるかもね。
And they're complaining, it's not apple, it's napple.
なるほど、でもそうかもしれないね。
If I was N, I would be rather upset.
Why did you drop me?
Why did you drop me?
うん。
Yeah, and they'd go, why did you stick me on the end of A to make a new word an? It's like
ジェ
the,
ラスだよね。
they'd be very jealous.
ね。
It'd be like being replaced as the first violinist in the orchestra, and you're now you have to like turn the pages for the piano player or something.
いや、面白いな。
You've been demoted.
うん。
That is interesting. Definitely did not know that one,
うんうん。
but it makes a lot of sense.
そうね。いや、面白いね。
Napron.
確かに。
Well,
でもその方が、フォニックス考えてもメイクセンスだよね。
yes, that's right.
A じゃなくてね。ない。
It could be.
どうだろう。
I used to think N was put there to make it sound easier, but in fact, it may have been at the beginning of the word all the time. But there you go.
面白いね。日本語もいろいろあるのかな。
All right, so that's it. What's coming up here? I mean, we've got the
来週月曜日から募集の話。
yes.
来週の月曜日に、LINE の方で次世代型英語教育についてのセミナーをね、やります。
You know, we should have perhaps made tonight a little more academic, but we
It's all right.
chose to just have a bit of
いや、も
fun.
うちょっと、もう結構忙しくてちょっと離れたい気もあったしね。
We chose to have a little bit of fun
It
this
was
evening,
fun.
and we learned something
いや
new.
いやいやいや。
But yes, back to work. Back to work next Monday
うんうん。
with the Borshu of the seminar
そうですね
and。Setsumekai. Please come to that if you
Mm.
can. Next Thursday, I guess, for YouTube again.
そうだね。Next 27th.
Then the following Sunday is session 8,
そう、最後の8期、修了式ですね。
Shuryoshiki.
まとめと修了式と、スペシャルニーズ、エデュケーションね。
Yes.
うんうん
And then the repeaters have got something
リピ
coming
ータ
up.
ーは、セミナーが終わってから。
Yes, that's right.
リピーター
That's in February.
そうそうそう。だから2月も結構いっぱいセミナー
Yep,
や
a
りますね
couple of busy weeks coming up.
Yep.
We thank you always
Mm.
for your company here
Mm.
with us on YouTube, and for your great support of English Uplift. By all means, let us know if there's anything specific you want us to discuss or
Mm-hmm.
hear our thoughts on.
そうそう。ぜひ、こういうことを聞きたいなって。
Yep,
まあ何でもいいですね。
anything.
そう、教育のことでもいいし、何でも。
No
Um,
problem. Anything. It'd be great to
場
hear
所
from
に聞
you.
いてみたいなとか。
Thank you
Mm.
always for contributing to
Hi,
the
arigatou
chat box. It
gozaimasu.
makes it lively. It
Mm.
makes it interesting for us.
Yeah.
And we know that we're interacting with you. We really appreciate it. All the comments are always incredible. And we enjoy your company. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。
Good night.
ね、ちょっとまだ忙しいのが続きますけど。
Yeah. Please take care.
so,
Take care of your health.
で
And
そう
we'll
ですね
see
あんまり
you.
怖がらないで。
Yes,
Keep
yes,
my show.
yes.
Mm.
Relax. No
そうそ
problem.
う。もう
See you.
気大事だからね。はい。
Speak to you next week. Thank you. Good night.
おやすみなさい。
Tittle.
ちょっとかわいいね。
Tittle.
ケトルみたいな。
A little tittle.
ね。You forgot. You forgot
So
the
you've got
tittle.
the kids be like, what? What did I forget?
Tittle.
My geography teacher
Mm.
in high school
Mm.
used to always say, does anybody have any questions, queries, comments, observations, or qualms? You're like, what? Qualms?
そうって言ってたよね。
What's a qualm? So, but that was his. So every lesson, you do this, do that, do that. Any questions, comments, queries, observations, or qualms?
結構なんか先生のそういう口癖とかメモしてたな。
Well, my students are definitely going to remember me by, remember Matthews?
それがさ、口々がさ、あ、くじゅーって言ってたのねって気づくのがさ、高学年じゃん。
So,
楽しみだね。あ、そういうことってなるよね。きっとね
yeah.
まあいいや。はい。ということで。
Hey,
おやすみなさい
Thank you. Good night.